Alrighty, let's get everybody turned volumes on so people can hear the awesome and amazing folks that are here with us today. And we'll get rid of this here picture, if I can remember which one it is. Boom. There we are. Hey, everybody. Oh, man. PhD Tony's gone green. Let's see what I can do about that.
That's right. Oh, it was bound to happen. Strict use by date, and you guys have blown right past it.
There we go. We have fixed
Hello,
the
everybody.
greenage.
Oh, apparently
Right.
apparently Irish. He's like, well, something's wrong with Irish. I don't know what's wrong with him though.
What's wrong with Irish now?
He messaged. He said he's totally fucked and he forgot.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That's okay.
Well, yeah.
Rob Parks, that is not
Yeah, it's not-
me. That is not me playing. That's something we found on Epidemic Sound. Don't tell them because then, they'll copyright claim us.
So it's not like Irish is online every single day of the goddamn week. No. No, he has to put in a special effort to be here on Sundays for the Beardsmen.
Yeah, it's
We
kind of,
notice.
well, how does his channel go? It's pretty much I have a thought going live. I saw something in the street going live. So yeah, that's pretty much the way it goes.
Well, yes. Twice a day, I'm informed by the chat whom somebody should greet.
Look at
Don't
this.
I have people for that?
Look at this stick. I'm going live.
You guys are so funny. Let's see, who do we have in the chat? That's actually a good thing to say. We got Demon Orb, Daryl M, Sir Little Wolf. Yeah. Rob Parks, Fred Knotts, PhD Tony's in there too. Jados Rylander. Gosh of Heckfire. What's going on, everybody? How is everyone doing? Hope everybody's having an awesome day, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Without you, life wouldn't be possible. No, that's not a dig at women. So JL, look at you. You got a window back there. You're gonna have to do something about that window.
Yes, I am. So
And you're gonna do
all kinds
something
of.
about that cow-powered internet. What's going on there?
My internet's doing fine.
I'm just, Jesus Christ, JL. You gotta lean into it. You're supposed to push back.
Oh well, I'm always. You know me. If you make a comment on something, I'm always going to assume it's based on something I'm doing wrong or something that's fucked up.
No, it's not something.
It's always going to be that way.
It's not that you're doing something wrong per se. It's the fact that you now live in Oklahoma.
This is true.
And in case anybody didn't
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains.
Yes.
That used to be the first thing into my mind when I heard the word Oklahoma, but my brother reminded me of the scene from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Steve Martin prancing excitedly around the room, pretending to be a one-eyed idiot, going Oklahoma.
Was that Fred Knott says, "Look at jail shrinking from." Fred Knott says, "Look at jail shrinking from the light like it burns." Well, that's just it. It's like the window behind me is not the only window that I have. I also have one right here. Obviously, you can see the blinds, so I got to do something about that one as well. So I have two major light sources in this room. Three if you count the ceiling light. Luckily, the ceiling light is pretty soft. So it's only in the mornings, and this is what's okay. So just to describe where I am. So I'm on the street that I'm on. Wraps when you go to the end of the street and you drive out. There's a major thoroughfare that connects to my street. So I basically, if you're following my finger, this is the major thoroughfare, and then I turn and I live back here. So if you go in here to the major thoroughfare, here's the street, here's all the residential areas. All of this over here is just like open pasture. It's like as far as you can see to the hills, and the sun actually sets on that side. So this thoroughfare here is called, because they're so imaginative, Sunset. This is where this is at. So I live over here in this residential area, and so the sun sets over here, over the hills. It's beautiful. Sunset over here is absolutely gorgeous. The problem is, this part of my house is where it rises. So I literally have full sun coming through this window, and partially over that one, just kind of like.
Well,
and
if it's not westerly facing, then that's fine. So you don't have to worry about the heat. But just put up those blockers like you were gonna do.
Yeah.
So for the one behind you, though, you want to put one of your posters on one of those blockers, so it looks, like it's already framed. Look, it's got a cool frame there.
So I'll definitely figure it out. It was getting it painted took the most time to make sure the paint job came out good.
Yeah. So
it actually looks sharp, and I kind of dig it.
It looks good.
It's a slightly different color than the one in my old room, the old office, but
right.
I like this one because it goes again. The white trim looks really, really good. Then I just gotta figure. I gotta sort. I gotta start putting stuff up now that the paint's dry and everything's set. And then these over here, these cases, my display cases, I have to put those where they're gonna make most sense. Because I still don't know if this is where I want my camera set up to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to block that window out, then that's I don't know, maybe the other corner.
Possible, because I don't know if I both like and don't like these two little closets. Because these two closets, I mean, they're cool, but they're not interconnected. So I technically could take that wall out and I can make it into one large closet. But the fact that there are two doors, two openings there. I feel like I could use it if I would, if I would get really imaginative, I could do something with it, or I could not do something with it. I'm not sure.
You should paint not really scary, and then really scary.
That'd be funny.
No, it's looking, like I said, it's looking good. Like the room paint, it's much more not that beige color that it was earlier that made you look like a grandpa.
Yes. Yes, this whole day. Oh, you should have seen it when I came. Yeah, when I first took over this room and I walked in here, I was like, it's old lady room. It was so old lady.
Yeah.
There was frills and pastels everywhere. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it's looking good. You're cleaning it up really nice, and then once you figure out all your placements and stuff, it'll be your room. It'll be a nice little office for you to work out of. Speaking of which, connect with me after the fact because. Yeah, just connect me after the fact so we can talk about some weekend horror business.
Cool. Something about this week?
No. Just some plans and such.
Oh, okay, cool. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Sir Little Wolf says, so jail has been dragged into the light. Yes, I have been dragged into the light. Lit by the light of day. It burns us. Rob Parks says, please tell me that jail lives on the last house on the left. Rob Parks, I actually do live on the last house on the left.
Ding, 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 ding.
That would be a different version of that movie.
Yes, I know.
That would be a more terrifying version of that movie.
Yes, that's pretty funny. That's funny.
Thank you, Sir Little Wolf. He says, nice trim. Ooh, thank you. Nice trim.
Tony, when are you going to paint the water heater in your background?
Well, this is a rental, so I don't have the authority to do that sort of decorative undertaking.
Come on, Tony. What do we say when someone says you can't do something?
Fuck you. That's what I say.
Well, I only say that sometimes. When I'm particularly aggravated.
Excuse me, mate. You can't. This is a rental. You can't paint in here.
Well, I suspect that I should show my landlord a little bit of deference. Um,
Oh, that's what we need. We need a video of PhD
that's
Tony going around just in his day, just like self-recording and saying, yelling, "Yes, I fucking can," to just random people. Just in the course of
well,
conversation, be like having conversation. You can't do that. Just, yes, I fucking can. And then they're just walking off.
monkey in the works is guilt tripping me. I do owe everybody this channel. PhD Tony Hates Literature. I am working with Chris Durham, but I've been feeling fairly crappy for the last week or so. So, yeah.
Didn't you recently get
So
your
as soon as
your superpowers shot?
I, I did, I got my first AstraZeneca shot, and it's not supposed to hit for that hard for this long, but just it hasn't been severe, but it's just been like I don't feel great.
Not up to 100%. I get it. I got
Yeah.
my second jab on Friday, and I was really worried about
Okay.
doing that because I got the Moderna, and everybody was talking about how the second shot of the Moderna really, that if they had a bad reaction, it was after the second shot. I almost rescheduled because yesterday I spent 7 hours in Plano shooting like fucking 20 minutes of B-roll footage and a 30-minute interview. So I was worried that I was going to be like fucking 102-degree fever and all that shit, but it was okay. It's just a sore arm, and I couldn't sleep the night before, so none of my superpowers have kicked in yet. I'm very disappointed.
You're not magnetic yet?
Nope.
Bummer.
Yes, but I have already picked out what I will be doing my first episode of PhD Tony Hates Literature on.
Will you share that with us, or are you going to keep that secret?
Yep, that's absolutely. I will be doing it on H.P. Lovecraft's The Whisperer in the Dark.
Settle down, JL. Settle down. Calm down. Deep breath. Breathe in the nose, out the mouth.
Well, if JL wishes to defend H.P. Lovecraft's Whisper in the Dark, he is, of course, free to do so. He's just
I'm fine.
the grave I'm digging is large enough for all of you.
That's fucking funny. Oh, that's very, very nice. Saw that. Gosh, Effect Fire says Texas is now a lesser state for having lost to jail. I appreciate that, man. That makes me feel good. And someone said, actually, Rob Parks had a really, really good idea that I need to get life-size Jason and Freddy figures to put in those portals, to put in those little deals. That would be fucking cool.
What was that? What is that company called? Fathead. Yeah. The only problem with that, though, is that it's got to be the surface has to be extremely flat. You can work around that, but that would take like some serious X-Acto knife cutting skills.
To do the constructed ones.
Yeah, the fathead ones where you can set them on there and then you cut them around because you've got what are those 6-panel doors? Your closet doors behind you?
No, there's no doors on them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I
thought there were doors there.
No, there's no doors. It's literally just the opening.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I could stand a figure in it. And
while you two have this absolutely scintillating conversation, which I'm sure has our audience, our viewership absolutely on tenterhooks, I'm going to respond to Rob Parks. Sorry, not Rob Parks. Sir Little Wolf's question of who is H.P. Lovecraft. Howard Philip Lovecraft was an influential author of the early 20th century who is credited with the invention of cosmic horror, a term you may not have heard before, but applies to the dread one feels when about to read a crappy book.
This motherfucker right here.
That's
H.P.
awesome.
Lovecraft's works would then go on to inspire many, many, many authors. The best part about his works is that many people have added to them. So authors like Richard Chambers have gone on to expand the mythos of the creatures and the characters that he created, which is why there's so much and there's such a vast array of additional books that go into that. So because Lovecraft
exactly, JL.
Lovecraft
The
loved
the literary world is replete with people who read an H.P. Lovecraft story and go, Jesus, I could write it better than that.
So Lovecraft loved the idea.
Cool.
Lovecraft actually liked the idea that other authors could work with what he had written, work with his kind of universe and expand it. And because unfortunately, Lovecraft didn't think very highly of himself or his own work. So he always felt that other people could do better. That was just kind of the way he was, kind of a shut-in, kind of a reclusive guy who didn't really think very highly of himself. But that opened up the doors and allowed people to expand upon the cosmic horror, the cosmic dread and cosmic horror mythos, which is why we have so many excellent books and why we have all the additions that we've gotten via literature, games, and various other mediums, and movies as well. Yeah. So it's a really, really excellent play, and it's an excellent genre to play in, especially if you love writing horror like I did, because I wrote a horror novella that is H.P. Lovecraft inspired that I passed on to a good friend of mine who would rather play with Rubik's cubes than give it a good read, because apparently it sucks that bad.
Yeah. What was the feedback on your first story? Actually, better than H.P. Lovecraft.
I fuck around. Yes, I fuck around. He actually said it was better than H.P.'s work, which I don't know about that. I don't. But H.P. would go on to inspire individuals like Edgar Allan Poe and Stephen King, and pretty much every modern horror writer today is taking inspiration from his works. His ability to craft atmosphere was excellent.
Rob Parks, the shooting went very well. We were able to get most of the B-roll that I need. I'll still get other things we got to do, but interviews were reshot between my wife and I. So yeah, it went really well. I think everybody's gonna like the footage. It's definitely more cinematic than it was before, which is what we were going for.
Sir Little Wolf says, "Of course I know who Lovecraft is, Tony. I like literature."
Oh, jeez. Shots fired.
Rob Parks says Call of Cthulhu is an excellent RPG system. Yeah, it's based on the basic role-playing system, which is the same one they use for RuneQuest, really. Actually, I started a new Call of Cthulhu campaign on Friday, so getting into the gist of that.
Rob Parks says you could do the same thing with Tolkien, and I know that people have tried, but I don't think that the Tolkien fandom is really open to other people playing in those works, because those characters are so beloved, and Tolkien did so much work himself on that universe that it's really, really hard to just inject new stuff into it. I don't know.
I feel like people who are trying to do a Tolkien style story, if they deviate even just a little bit from the source material, then your diehard Tolkien fans are gonna fucking eviscerate that shit.
Yeah, there's gonna be issues, and so I think it's definitely more. I think I would say it's more fan protected than Lovecraft's works. I would agree. I would say that.
It was less obvious that pretty much anyone could write a better story.
I'm gonna change this. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay.
Yeah, working with natural light is can be a pain.
I was tired of looking like I was a prisoner over here on one side, because it was just stripes. I was looking at the damn phone, and I was like, "What the hell? Looked like I just escaped."
You did.
Maybe I did.
Maybe you did. No, because nobody escapes and then voluntarily goes to Oklahoma.
It's actually not bad. I mean, the cost of living is much lower here, and
I'm just busting your chops.
The only difference is that not as like we just moved in, and it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty small. It's pretty small neighborhood out here. Not a person has come up to like say hi, knock on the door. We haven't gotten any of that neighborly friendliness.
Dude,
Sometimes you get in small towns.
you just brought in a whole bunch of horror related paraphernalia. They're fucking terrified of you.
Yeah. Well, they see. Well, I can tell you what. I definitely wear the darkest clothes around here. This is the truth. People see some of the people see some of the horror shirts I wear when I'm going down to the Z Stop, which is apparently the name of the I guess the little convenience store that's by this place. But I pop into the Z Stop and they're kind of like, "Who is that fucker?"
So you live in the last house on the left of a small offshoot of a major thoroughfare in Oklahoma that is named Sunset, that is next to some pasture land and near a Z Stop. Is there any more personal information that I should be preparing to catalog, or just
don't worry, Jay. Look, here's the thing: if you go to Oklahoma searching out Jail Warren, you'll be eaten by the cannibal people first.
But yeah, I'm not worried about anybody coming trying to find me. I'm literally in the armpit of Oklahoma, dude. Ain't nobody gonna come out here to try and look for me. You know how long of a drive it is to get to anywhere? To get to the nearest, it's literally 15 minutes to get to the damn Phillips. The first gas station near me is 15 minutes away. To get to the Wendy's, it's a half an hour. It's 30 minutes to get to the nearest Wendy's. So no, I'm not terribly concerned. No one's going to drive off in the middle of this where there are areas where there is no paved. There's no like turn off the paved road. But depending upon what direction you come at my place with, those directions apply.
What do you mean those directions?
They're applicable. So depending upon what direction you're approaching my home, turn off the paved road will be in the direction list to get there.
Now, when you come up to the fork in the road, you want to take the one that says dirt road. Okay, dirt road's one you want to go down. Right now, you want to go down a little ways on dirt road. Okay, then you're going to come up to a big old oak tree. When you get there, you need to take a left. Right, when you take a left of that oak tree, you're going to be on this it's not really a road kind of thing. You know, we kind of just made it a road because we drive on it all the time. That kind of.
You guys remember we going down there. There's two bumps on the left. And if you hit that second bump, you
done gone too far.
You've gone too far. So you hit that first bump, you're gonna know you're about close. And then you're gonna see that. And then you're gonna turn off that kind of paved road. I know it doesn't really feel paved, but it is paved around here. You're gonna turn off that paved road. Okay, you're gonna go down. There's no coonhound. His name is Blue, and he hangs out there by the chain link fence. And he's gonna bark at you 3 times. If he don't bark at you 3 times, then you need to keep going straight. But if he barks at you 3, then you need to turn right. Because that's Blue. He's warning you that you don't need to go down too far. So
what you seem to be saying, is that nobody's going to find your house
ever
because you have publicly defamed your neighbors as being inbred yokels. Too stupid to give accurate directions.
No.
Hang on a
second. Wait.
Not the people. No, it's not I haven't finished. It's not the out-of-state people you're concerned about. It's the good citizens of the great state of Oklahoma that you have just.
The fact that directions to my place involves listening for the coonhound's bark.
Yep.
You know.
See, but no, Tony, this is where you're wrong. It's not that they probably give the most accurate directions, but because you're not used to that lingo, it sounds like a bunch of gibberish. That's the point. Yeah. Like if you follow a redneck's directions to the T, it's going to sound really funky and really weird, but it'll get you to exactly where you're trying to go. Exactly. See? Can't even argue.
But I will say this. I have it's been a long, long time since I've been able to look up in the sky at night and actually see the stars.
More than just Orion's belt?
Yeah, more than just Orion's belt and sometimes the Big Dipper, when on a really clear night. And then on a really clear night where I used to live in Texas, it was always just there's the Dipper, there's Orion's belt, You can't even really make out all of Orion, but you got Orion's belt, you got the Big Dipper, and you can maybe on a really super clear night, maybe Venus, and a couple other points. And it was kind of like you got nothing, but typically you got nothing. You look up there, you can't even make out stars sometimes. Although I will say on really super clear nights, the moon is always amazing. But out here, it is stunning. Like it's like being back. It's like being back at Philmont when I was in Scouts. Is being able to look up and actually see the sky, like it looks, and seeing everything up there. You can literally watch satellites traverse the horizon, see all kinds of cool shit. And now I'm so grateful because now I can actually go. I'm thinking about buying a new telescope because mine is like super, super old and I haven't used it forever. So I'm thinking about buying a new one and going out and just seeing what I can see. So, hey, anybody out there in the live chat, telescope recommendations would be great. Just, something good for just, regular stargazing. I don't plan on doing any videos on it, but I would like to actually, be able to see stuff and be like, oh, this is really fucking cool. So, because now I have the opportunity. It's like I'm like a kid again. Who was saying something here?
Skydiver Tanner is talking about being able to see the auroras almost every night in where he's at. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's fucking cool.
My mother lives on top of a mountain, quite literally, and on a clear night when it's not no clouds and a little bit of moon, you could the number of stars. Just forget about it. It's so nice. It's a certified dark skies area.
What was it? Skydiver Tanner, he really likes Wendy's. He sounds pissed it's 30 minutes away. I am pissed it's 30 minutes away. It's like, I'm in the mood for a biggie bag. God damn it.
I want a square hamburger. I want a square hamburger and 5 chicken nuggets. Damn it.
And now I have to fucking drive. I have to put forth effort to get there. That's just not good. It's just not acceptable.
Maybe that's what people like us need. Effort, maybe it's too available for people like us.
Rob Park says, armpit of Oklahoma, 15 minutes from a Phillips, 30 minutes from a Wendy's. Soon I will have his location triangulated. You're welcome to come out here and hang out with me, man. You know what's out here? Me, cows, and coyotes at night. I actually heard the coyotes going to bed, which is pretty fucking cool. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Like dogs, wait.
The dogs did not dig it at all.
You heard the coyotes going to bed, or you heard the coyotes when you went to bed?
When I was going to bed. Oh, okay. I was going to bed, and I was like, what the fuck is that noise? Holy shit, it's the coyotes. And I mean, it'd been forever since I heard coyotes at night. Living in the city. And the dogs, especially Jingles, was like, what the fuck? What is out there?
So, can I kill it? Yeah. I think we put Tony to sleep. He's passed out over there. He's done. He says, fuck these guys.
So Little Wolf says, take a left at the water tower.
Yep.
If you've hit pavement, you've gone too far.
That's exactly right.
I saw something in there. And yes, Rob Parks, I can see the Milky Way. Someone said, where was it? It said that the best directions, or what was it? You turn right by where that maple tree used to be. That was Fred Knotts, his actual directions he has been told. He turned right by where that maple tree used to be.
Yeah.
That is amazing. We're seeing the auroras tonight. That's so cool.
Green Bank, West Virginia. No. She doesn't live. She lives in Colorado. My mother does.
So you can start triangulating her position as well. She's in Colorado on a mountain.
Yeah, because that's real descriptive about Colorado.
Like, I'm in Oklahoma by a pasture.
Yep. Oh, shit. I know exactly where you are. Oh, wait a minute. Tony, you want to give us your exact location in Australia? Can you see kangaroos?
No. But I'm indoors at the moment, so...
So if you were outdoors, this is insinuating that if you were outdoors, you would be able to see kangaroos.
Well, it's not impossible that I would see kangaroos. There are lots of kangaroos in this part of the country, and there's some pasture land nearby. But actually today, I heard a kookaburra, which is not something that you often hear.
Very cool.
Not in this part of the world, but they're Do you guys know what a kookaburra is?
It
Or
is
even...
it is a bird.
That's that one
It
you
is a
showed me, man. It's
bird.
like the pink. It's got like the pink
No,
beard.
no, no. A kookaburra is a type of kingfisher, but it's famous for its laugh. So,
It's something wild like that.
yeah. That was pretty good. And if you can get some, it's got a really really characteristic laughing call.
Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
song.
Merry Merry King of the Bushes, he laugh kookaburra, laugh kookaburra. How gay your life must be.
Okay.
Back in the
I
old days.
back
When
in
You,
the
you
gay,
never you never heard of this song, Johnny?
No, I have not. I
It's
live in place.
Kookaburra
I
sits in the
live
old gum
in
tree,
town. Okay, I live in town.
eating all the gumdrops he can see. Stop Kookaburra, leave some there for me.
Yeah, I heard it the first time. Still
No,
don't
that
know
was the
it.
second verse. Tony said the first verse.
Yeah, yeah. I still don't know the song. If I didn't know it by the first verse, do you fucking think I'm gonna know it by the second?
God, you're a tool.
Don't be mad because I'm asking legitimate questions.
That's true.
No, that's
He
going
is
to be
a very good.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, he runs a very good interview channel, so he knows how to ask the tricky questions. Though you've been taking it easy in the last 2 weeks. You haven't destroyed anybody. You slowing down a step there, Johnny?
It happens with old
We just
age. It happens with old age.
happens with old age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I did call into question Irish Demon's bromance with Nathan.
Ooh.
Yeah. Nobody seemed to care though. They were like, everybody's cool with Irish and Nathan having a bromance.
Wait, so okay.
Yeah.
So because I was in the middle of something, I didn't get to watch all that stream because I actually got into a debate on Discord with a dude with actually several Catholics about why they hate LGBTQ. Because they were trying to defend why it's damaging to society and culture, and I was like, no, I got to stand up against this. So, and doing it back and forth on that one. But I saw the title of his vid, and it was like, where's Nathan? Like he's looking for him, like fucking Waldo. And I don't know what it was about, but that's what I'm kind of curious. Like, what exactly was he talking about on that one?
Nathan works at a pot farm in California now.
So he made it back to California.
Yep.
And now he works on a pot farm.
Yep.
Is he still doing content or?
The best flat earth content ever. Bro. No, I have no idea. I don't pay attention to Nathan Thompson.
Haven't heard anything from him.
I know his buddy that he made in Virginia still goes out and harasses people, but other than that, I don't know anything else.
Oh, that tool, that redneck tool.
Yep. That redneck tool.
I have to say, so I was doing some research on the RATE group, radioactivity, or and the Age of the Earth, which is a sort of a creationist scientist group. And what a load of lying scumbags those people are. Like, people who have PhDs and therefore should know exactly what science is, doing the most unscientific crap imaginable. I just don't get it. Like, if your religion is that crappy that you have to lie to make it sound even moderately plausible, what's the fucking point? Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
What specifically were they lying about? Just the science?
Yes, they were lying about the science. So you brought up this was the rabbit hole that actually you guys sent me down, because you had Matt Powell talking about the helium. And of course, Matt Powell didn't, Mappal didn't understand the
Anything?
science that was involved, and he oversimplified. If you look at the actual work that the people have done, what they're saying is that yes, helium gets produced by alpha particle decay, but even so, there's too much helium; it should have diffused out. And so the argument boils down into how quickly does helium diffuse through zircons? Yeah. Uh, yes, the vast majority of them are astrophysicists. Rob Parks. There are a couple of physicists, a couple of astronomers. There's one geologist who knows perfectly well. I think his PhD, Andrew Snelling, his PhD, certainly the papers that he's published involve uranium lead dating of deposits in Central Australia. So I don't know how he comes to the conclusion that the Earth is 6,000 years old. It's idiotic. To be a published author about uranium lead dating and then in your spare time run around saying, well, it's wrong. I don't know. It actually depressed me because these people are just lying for a for their religion. They don't even really get paid for it.
I did never understood that. I never understood why. What
Well,
what
it's the same.
difference? Well, hang on a second. What difference does it make how old the Earth is? It makes no difference. Okay, again,
Well,
that is exclusive to whether there is or is not a God. It's completely exclusive.
Well, that's why it
Yeah, I think
matters.
No,
Well, the
no.
issue is-
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Well, the issue is that I have been thinking along these lines. The issue is not so much whether or not it's related to the existence of God, as whether or not it's related to the authority of the Bible. So if people who want to just unilaterally assert the Bible as an infallible authority, a source of wisdom and authority, for them, it's important that the chronology works and everything in the Bible is completely accurate and blah blah blah. And of course, none of that is true. But in order to make it seem true, they go out and they lie. Well, you're lying. What's the benefit of it?
Yeah, but I seem to think I think that the evidence would support. And here's the funny thing about this, right? So whenever I've had discussions with people who take that God created the earth in 6 days literally, I ask them this question: what's a day to someone who is immortal, who never dies, who is always here, all whatever? What's a day?
What's a day to somebody who hasn't invented the sun and the moon yet?
Exactly. So, and I would think that evidence would support the fact that that would be strong evidence to support the fact that God is immortal and the creator of all things. But they want to take it to the literal. Nope, 6 24-hour days and a 7 24-hour day he rested. No, come on, it's just stupid. Just stupid.
Yeah. What is time to an atemporal being?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are the ones who define time, not the presence or lack of presence of a spiritual being. It just seems silly to.
Yes.
It seems like a silly battle to pick to fight if you are on the theistic side.
I ran into it because I spoke with Otangelo because Otangelo refused to debate PhD Tony, and I'm going to say refused because he's going to say that he didn't prepare and he backed out. I call bullshit because I've heard Otangelo's debates, and he backed out, and I'm pretty certain it's because he found out what PhD Tony does for a living. He says he doesn't quote it because the minute I got into a conversation with him about this whole thing, he had like 9 articles that he was able to link to me, like boo. He just rapid fired them at me. He's like, "This is what I've got," and I'm like, "Well, if this is what you have, why didn't you bring this to the debate?" He's like, "Oh, because there are better people who could debate this than I can." I was like, okay, come on, dude. Like really? You're gonna? And then he gave me the name of somebody else. Like maybe she could debate it because she knows it better than I do. And I'm like, whatever. That's neither here nor there. I seriously doubt it because you already cowed out one time, but
Actually, he chickened out twice. And
twice now.
Yes, in the second one, he would only go through with the debate if the debate was actually about whether or not Christianity is right.
Oh, so he just wants it to be on like Christianity versus atheism.
Right.
So, and it's still, God, I mean, and I'm supposed to debate this guy on Thursday, and several people on Discord that I'm friends with were like, why would you do this? Like, because at least Otangelo can, he can present. I mean, he's not aggressive. He doesn't do the whole like, no. He doesn't do that crap. So at least he'll be a presentable, or he'll be what's the word?
He'll be a little more honest interlocutor.
He's a more honest interlocutor. I mean, he speaks to what he believes in, and that's pretty much it. But
I'll be back in a moment.
All right,
carry on. I'll still be able to hear.
He's got to empty out his catheter.
I was going to say colostomy bag, but whatever.
Do you have pain when you cath? You remember those commercials?
Yes.
I'm a 75-year-old cowboy, and I hate pain when I cath.
Oh man.
So at least, well, I was gonna say he'll be a more presentable interlocutor. I mean, he'll just be more. He won't be so egregiously, an asshole.
Right.
At least he'll be a decent person to have on there. He won't try to overtalk and blah blah blah. But nonetheless, the whole catheter thing threw me off. Why am I debating the guy? Because it's important conversation to have. He believes, oh yeah. But the one thing I'm concerned about is that atheism versus Christianity is such a broad topic. So there's so much you could talk about within there. Like, is Christianity justified? Is atheism justified? And yes, atheism justified. Christianity is not justified. So it's not logically justified. Atheism is logically justified. And then of course I'm really curious if he's going to run the precept argument that
of course
if he's gonna change the definition of facts in order to suit his narrative. So, or like change the definition of anything else. Like, for example, precepts will say like Darth, unfortunately to bring his name up. Who, interesting, there's a story behind Darth that I could share with you. Little update, because he quit the politics and religion server.
Oh yeah, because he cried and cried and cried to get Tom on boxes.
Yeah, you watched the video? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, it was funny because it was like a 2-hour live. It was like a 2-hour live stream that Tom held. Basically, it was the question: is Darth a racist? And they played MP3s of Darth being racist. So the conclusion was he's racist. Yeah, and then people started going to him and be like, "Hey, Darth, why are you racist?" And he was like, "I'm not.
I'm not racist. I have black friends."
Like,
Darth, dude. Darth, do you realize
I have many friends who are also black? And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude?
It's like, do you not understand that that is the very first thing that all racists say?
Are you? I mean, he was like, come on, man. I mean, you can't. Is he that tone? Yeah, I guess he's that tone deaf. He really is. He has no fucking clue what he's saying. It's just like, I have friends who happen to be black. It was like, it was like, what the fuck? So Darth is a racist. He wanted Tom banned, and then Blackout, who owns that server, was like, or I think he's the lead admin on that, was like, no, they haven't done anything to be banned, so no. And then he was like, well, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Blah. So he quit the server and he made his own little server called Debate.
I thought he already had his own server.
No, Reformation is dead. Or dying, because he's banned and kicked so many people. I think, unless I heard, their ban list was something like 800 people. Because they banned so many people, no one goes on to Reformation anymore. He literally killed that server. Wow. So nobody goes. No atheists go there anymore because they know what's going to happen. He's going to be like, no. He's going to shout like a man child. He's just going to ban everybody. So fuck it. We're not going to go there. We're going to go to like politics and religion. So he started coming over to politics and religion and try to do his thing, try to weave his, he was like, let me, get my power here. And then they they created bots for me so they could silence the people that are trolls and slanderers. And then then he started demanding people be banned because Tom and Boxes is slandering me because he says I'm a racist. No, the MP3s of the MP3 recordings of you saying racist shit is why you're a racist. So, and then he got pissed off and he bailed on that one. So now he has his own little debate server, which it was funny. I got an invite to that server like minutes after he made it, or I guess it was another friend. It's not his own server. He won't create his own server for some reason.
I think it's Otangelo's.
Well, he made a server, so there's another server, and it's called Debate, where he has like godlike power there now. And I got an invite to it from a friend. He's like, "Oh, come check out the studio." I was like, "Oh, fantastic!" So I jumped in there. Like 5 minutes later, I was banned.
Of course. Oh shit! Excuse me. Sorry.
So
I mean, Darth Dawkins is a bad faith interlocutor.
Yeah. So the big thing on that is if Otangelo runs a precept, he'll do something like like Darth does. Like Darth defines facts. So like Tony, I know you probably heard it, but Darth and people like Darth, the presuppositional apologists will redefine facts. Like a fact is a descriptor of reality. Correct? Am I correct in defining it that way? A fact is a description of reality.
Yeah, a fact is something that is broadly considered to be well attested and true of reality. Yes.
Okay, there you go. Pretty simple. Mine's the more colloquial one. I would agree with Tony. I would go with Tony's as well. It's not only just that it's a description of reality, is that pretty much the consensus of humanity is that we've agreed that this is reality. This is a phone deal or a phone holder. Okay, this is why I put my phone in when it's not charging. This thing is green. We can all assume, other than colorblind individuals, but we can all agree that this is green. So that's a fact. That's a fact of reality. So they'll define a fact. They'll basically say that's not a fact. They'll say facts are only facts because they derive from God. Because God allows facts to be instantiated. The only reason that this can be green is because God exists to allow this to be green. Otherwise, it's an open system, and this could technically be anything because it can't be is unintelligible as anything unless God is there to secure the reality makes this green.
Such a stupid argument.
Well,
yeah.
Well, to some extent, I think that it's symptomatic. I was about to make the point when you said that religion isn't justified.
No, Christianity. Christianity isn't justified.
Well, I don't care which religion you call unjustified. I don't actually think that that's necessarily true, because religion can serve a very important role in maintaining somebody's mental health. It can provide, religion can provide emotional support. Now, I feel if we had more reliable and more structured mental health processes in our society, then religion wouldn't be necessary. But it remains the case that a lot of people use religion to provide an emotional and mental health framework that they find very useful. And I'm not going to attack people who have done that because they're if this is a component of their mental health, they're entitled to it as long as they're not harming anybody else, right? It's where they're harming anybody else. But you can basically see from that definition that you just unfolded, this is somebody who thinks that the world just can't make sense without God. And so they're coming from, they cannot envision a world without God. Therefore, such a world cannot make sense. It cannot. No, Rob Parks, that's not what I said at all. No, I did not say that people that have faith are mentally ill. I said that religion can be very constructive when it provides emotional and mental health support to people who need it. That's very different from the your summary of it, Rob. That's not what I'm saying in any sense. But I think that Darth's attitude is symptomatic of somebody whose perception of reality is so heavily skewed and distorted that it does. I suspect he does have mental health issues. I don't think that everybody who has faith does, but I think that Darth in particular has quite a few pathologies to him.
Darth absolutely does. We've seen him over time. We've seen that his behavior is degrading slowly but surely. I mean, he's getting up there. He just turned 60, and slowly but surely we've seen it decline, like a steady decline, thanks to to channels like Tom Rabbit. Just as we see every single day, we get something new, or virtually every day we get something new about him. He's slowly but surely, he's getting more of a tendency to jump to these very, very wild conclusions that are not logically supported. It's kind of like he jumps these things and he's more prone to emotional like emotional outburst on things that because he's an emotional outburst guy. Something pisses him off, he'll flip out. But recently, it's been about really strange, like really odd things. Like he'll go from 0 to 60, and not really have a trigger for it. It's odd.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's coming slightly unbalanced, and we actually are thinking that he may actually be declining in some way. We're not 100% sure what. We're not going to no one's going to speculate, but there's something in his, either he's really fucking lost it and against atheists. He's like, atheists, it's war. And he's going full like von Clausewitz and shit on it, but we think he may be getting up there, and maybe, but quite possibly sitting in front of his computer on Discord 10 hours a day, doing this it's taking a toll. I would imagine. So,
I would imagine. Just to ask you, just to answer Rob Parks again. Yes, I did say that if we had better mental, what I said was actually, if we had better mental health support networks as part of our society, then religion would not be necessary to provide emotional and mental health support.
Yeah.
That's different from saying, I feel like my utterances here are being turned into vastly more anti-religious statements than they actually are. And I would ask you, please, to think about what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, because I'm choosing my words with great care, and I feel like logical inferences are being drawn from them that have no validity.
Well, yeah, okay. Rob Park says all his. He said okay. He's not trying to straw man or anything. I guess he was just looking for clarification.
Okay.
I can legitimately.
Okay.
I mean, from my position, from what I could say, is that the vast majority of people who follow religion is not problematic. Okay, religion in and of itself served a great purpose thousands and thousands of years ago when it enabled small groups of people. Small nomadic groups of people to bind together into larger groups, because as we know, in greater groups there is better odds for survival. And if you can bring people together in a group when when survival is an almost hourly struggle, then sure, that's a good thing. You have more people together, they're bound by what they believe in, and then more people together, they can get more shit done. They can get more stuff done efficiently, they can survive better. You have more people on the lookout for predators, more people looking for food. All is great. Society is built. This is fantastic. As a survival mechanism, it was really, really good. 10,000 years ago, maybe 50,000 years ago, whatever, when these things started first entering our minds. But at this stage in the game, the year 2021, it doesn't. It, like Tony was saying, and I'm piggybacking off this. It does serve a purpose in the sense that it does alleviate, it does give kind of an emotional or mental health kind of support system to people. And it serves that purpose because our mental health services, pretty much throughout the world, are pretty crap. Is that they could be much, much better. More money and more work and more research could be going into these things. We could have better systems for it. Instead, we have, especially here in the U.S., it's just absolutely awful. They could be better. And if they were better, then churches would need to supply that health service or that emotional support system that other services could do, and then religion could focus on doing what it does, because people who need that kind of support are easily manipulated. And typically, the individuals who are looking for something in that respect is typically where you get your more, I would say, not always, but typically where you get your more fundamentalist stuff, because they're not coming in from a healthy position, from a mentally healthy position. So, and you see where this can snowball. I would like to see the end of that. I don't want to see the end of religion. I don't want to see anybody lose their right to practice their religion. What I do want to see is the end of religion supporting fanaticism and trying to worm its way into our legislation and our politics. I would love to see the end of that. And religion can have its own little table, and people can go and sit at the religion table, and they can go eat lunch at the religion table. And all of it, then the other people, there's the politics table and the legislation table and all these other little tables. Religion can have its own little place and go, just be that. That's it. But there's obviously detrimental effects to religion today because we just don't need it anymore. We don't.
Well, I think that if you look at it, let's look at an example of, say, Trumpism. The evangelicals who support Trump, or the just the bewildering variety of people who support Trump. Even though Trump is demonstrably directly opposed to what they have always claimed their ideology is. For instance, the financial conservatives, who are, the fiscal conservatives, who have always said, we need to rein in government spending, blah, 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 blah. Trump brings in $2 trillion of tax cuts to plunge the government further into debt, and they all vote for it because they're dedicated to it. Now, in that case, there's a degree of self-interest to it, but I kind of think that people like the scientists I was complaining about earlier have come to the conclusion that it's okay to lie to themselves and to other people if it's in furtherance of their religion, and that's become very, very negative. It's sort of self-fulfilling. I feel like they're detaching themselves from reality, and I really do worry about the future of Western civilization, but the US in particular, because I feel like these people could well destroy it. Not necessarily, again, not all religious people, but people who are dedicated enough to a religion that just scorns science and objective reality.
Agreed. Religious. I mean, it sounds awful to say, but I mean, this is just the way I feel on this. Religious fundamentalism would not exist without religion. Okay, there is no science fundamentalism. Okay, there is just science. There is not a way. There's not multiple ways to interpret science. There's not a 47,000 different denominations of science. All right, this is not the way it works. All right, we've come far enough. This isn't like this is the 1800s and we're having this conversation. This isn't even 1900 and we're having this conversation. This is 2021. Okay, we are focusing on putting people on Mars. We are focusing on making our first steps towards really approaching the going far into space. Okay, where the big these big like, can we do this? Questions are being asked and being answered. No, we're so far beyond this that I would almost posit that philosophically that we are almost beyond philosophy in this respect. Because this is not ancient Greece, where we are asking questions about things that we couldn't possibly understand at the time. The average grade schooler today knows more about the world, knows and understands more about the world than the great Greek philosophers of their day. the advent of information and education today is beyond the beyond the scope of understanding of the greatest minds of like 1,000 years ago. We're literally to a point where there are aspects of our civilization which we hold on to for some the vestiges of these things, which we hold on to for either nostalgic purposes or for emotional purposes, whatever. But nostalgic is emotion, but for emotional purposes, but they serve no greater purpose.
Well,
What
And
serves
as
no greater
Tony, and
purpose?
as Tony said, and as Tony said, no, David, hold on a second, finish up. And as Tony said,
No, you guys have been prattling on for like
only
40
serve
minutes
to
now.
hold
Let me
us,
ask a
only
question.
serve to hold us back.
Wait a minute. What serves no purpose? Religion or philosophy?
I would say religion serves no purpose, and I would say very quickly philosophy is getting there as well, because more and more today, in order to make philosophy work, people are abandoning epistemology and looking only at philosophy itself. But you must have both. You must have philosophy and epistemology. Philosophy allows philosophy guides and epistemology grounds. But at this point right now, because I've heard said many times, the more we learn, there's less to learn. Okay, we don't have to relearn that stuff again. Okay, so the more we learn,
I don't know. When's the last time you took a math class?
Yeah, that's true. But the more our civilization, the more our society and our civilization learns, we add that to the collective knowledge. It's not like we have to go back and relearn that again, unless there's some cataclysmic event that damages our civilization. But we don't have to relearn that stuff. We're constantly throwing stuff onto the pile. At this point, the pile is so freaking big and so well understood by some minds on this planet, like PhD Tony, that what questions are you going to ask that within the next 50 years will not be answered? Other than what's transcendent of the universe? Nothing is transcendent of the universe. If there's the universe is an isolated system. If something exists, it is within the universe. Done. This is not controversial in its definition.
No, you go on, Jail. Sorry, Johnny.
No, go ahead, Johnny.
I was just going to say that it's not what your problem with philosophy isn't philosophy, it's the way that it's used. I think philosophy is a very important piece of our culture, and it's anybody's culture. It could be just culture of humanity, period. Because without philosophy, we wouldn't know these things that you're talking about. We wouldn't know some of the scientific things that we know because we weren't wherewithal. We didn't have the wherewithal to think about this shit. I think. Yes, philosophy grounded with knowledge is important. And that's where we should look to philosophical thinking with I know there she is.
Behind you.
There she is.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I don't think that I think that philosophy again serves a very important purpose.
Hey, Munchkin.
You want to say hi? Say good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Somebody's sleepy.
How are you?
She's sleepy.
Oh, well, it's good to see you.
Okay, I'm going to pull back a little bit, and I am because I realized that what I was saying because somebody just pointed out something objective to me. Jail just turned into Steve McRae, and that's an awful observation.
That's a mean thing to say.
But not totally incorrect because I was sounding a bit didactic there. So I will agree. I will actually pull back, and I think that what it is that my emotional kind of like anti-rant against this thing is in response to the fact that I have been told so many times on the internet, because I'm LGBT, I'm bisexual, and I have been told so many times this month because it's Pride Month that I need to put a bullet in my head that I am an abomination, I am disgusting, I am blah, 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 blah. Virtually everything you could possibly throw at a member of the LGBT community. I've heard it so many times. I heard it, I think 6 times yesterday. People would just come in. I'd be sitting there having a chat with somebody. We were talking about animals. We're talking about like hippos, why they're angry as fuck. And then someone just pops in, hey, you dirty F, like that. You need to like shoot yourself in the head. God hates you and stuff. I'm like, why? From at least 6 or 7 different people. just varying, just
So
drop it in to spread some hate, because there ain't no hate like
yeah,
Christian love, baby. That's the reality of it.
well, I would. I think you need to be a little bit careful because it actually works the other way. I think everybody. A successful religion is one that has a large enough grab bag of ideologies that you can pick and choose the ones that appeal to you. So if somebody is a Christian and they've got anti-gay sentiments, those two need not be connected at all.
Yeah, it just makes him an asshole.
Because there are plenty of Christians who don't have anti-gay sentiments. And
like
so,
I said, like I was saying, I
and
may have been in an emotional position where I'm like, you know what, fuck these assholes. I'm so fucking sick. But
well,
I agree.
what I wouldn't, Rob Parks asked earlier, what do I believe? I don't believe that there's a God, because I believe that if there were a God, then the people who spend all their time talking to him and allege that they are listening for his guidance would not do things like run, for instance, an international organization of pedophiles. I believe that if there were a God, there would not be so much spurious and completely unnecessary animal suffering in the world. I just look around and I say, okay, if God exists, I have serious issues with the way he's running the show. So that's me. But I don't claim to be dictating to other people. And other people, I was a Christian for, 30 years or so, 35 years of my life. I am no longer a Christian of any sort for that particular reason. But what I will say is this, that I don't care what religion you are, when you go into a polling booth, leave that shit outside, because it's got no place in national discourse, the formulation of laws, or the determination of governmental policy. The separation.
I'm sorry. I was going to say that the only place that the religious folk have any kind of business in a polling place is to make sure that they are allowed to practice their religion. Outside of that, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you should be allowed. That's it. Period. Don't tell me what I can and can't do based on something that you believe when it comes to spirituality. Sorry.
I've been talking a lot, Johnny, and you've said hardly 10 words all stream. So I should actually be apologizing to you, but I feel like everybody's horrified by the surge of the evangelicals, and in particular, oh God, what is his name? The guy who runs Morning Joe on MSNBC. Scarborough.
Yeah.
Scarborough.
Yeah.
That's his name. He was very proud about, I would go to my constituents and I would tell them this, that, and the other. And you're just going, well, yeah, but you're the gateway drug, right? Do you not see that? You're the problem. You're actually what's wrong.
Okay, we can do that.
Because it's okay to be religious, but don't use it as a rationale for voting. It's completely different.
Yeah. And I don't like like I said, it served a purpose one time, and even now, I will fight for the rights for people to believe whatever they want to believe. I've said many times, people are allowed to believe whatever they want to believe. It's the moment that they think that those beliefs can intercede on the lives of another person who doesn't believe what they believe. That's where I draw the line. And it is getting, just right now, the Catholic Church is trying, like a group of cardinals in the Catholic Church is trying to pass some kind of proclamation or whatever that will disallow Joe Biden from taking communion. Oh, that's a cool fucking shirt. What's that? Wait, lift it up. Lift it up. It says the what? The Datalorian. Nice.
It's got my name on it and everything. Boom.
That is cool
And
as hell.
That's me with a handlebar mustache.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Ah.
So the Catholic Church is trying to bar Joe Biden from taking communion.
Not the Catholic Church. A certain portion of the Catholic Church.
This is the way.
So it's the Catholic Church.
No.
Well, if it's a portion of the Catholic Church, it is the Catholic Church.
Okay, cool. Then all atheists are trying to take away religion from people and people's right to practice religion.
Yeah, you need to be very careful working from the small
Well,
set.
well, hang on a sec. Catholic Church, a portion of the Catholic Church, is still under the umbrella of the Catholic Church.
All right, then
Yes.
you are okay with saying, well, certain atheists that's under the umbrella of atheism. Therefore,
no, there's two distinctions. There's atheists.
we're only saying that because
there's two distinctions because there's atheists and there's anti-theists, which are two separate things.
Okay.
An anti-theist and an atheist are it's like a square and a rectangle.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, except that that's a really bad example because all squares are rectangles.
Thank you.
But rectangles are not squares.
Yes, that's true, but that doesn't, so.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a different form of the Catholic Church.
Can I perhaps finish what I'm saying? Do you think? You said some cardinals. Not all people in the Catholic Church are cardinals, right?
JL.
Okay, I'm actually pulling it up.
Not everybody in the Catholic Church is a cardinal.
U.S. Catholic bishops advance communion document setting up potential rebuke of Biden.
Yes. Is that
Yes.
okay? U.S.
Catholics.
U.S. Catholic bishops, right?
Oh, for God's
How many?
For God's sake. Is it
United States
unanimous?
States Conference.
Is it every bishop? Has it been passed yet?
The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops on Friday proceeded with a plan that could deny communion to public figures who support abortion rights, setting up a potential public rebuke of President Joe Biden. By a vote of 168 to 55, with 6 abstentions, the bishops went forward with plans for a report on the meaning of the Eucharist in the church. Blah, 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 blah.
So there was 61 people who voted against it, right?
168, by a vote of 168 to 55, they went forward with a report on the meaning. The vote is part of a larger process, and a rebuke of Biden and other Catholic politicians who support abortion rights is not assured. The report will be developed. So I don't know. One sec.
So I feel like your extrapolation from this to the Catholic Church is not ironclad in a logical sense.
Are Catholic? No. Okay.
I just think that it's dangerous to lump all in, even if it is the quote majority of the Catholic bishops of the United States, to lump all Catholics into that, I think is a little bit unfair.
So I recently, my friend's youngest son got married in a ceremony that was described they're very staunch Catholics. It was a Latin mass in the pre-1967 format. Basically, it was pre-Vatican II, but they didn't want to say pre-Vatican II. They didn't want to even acknowledge that Vatican II had occurred. There is this schism, but the Catholic Church, if the people of the Catholic Church, if the authorities within the Catholic Church really want to pull rank they could very well find themselves talking to empty pews, because this is precisely the sort of nonsense where people go, well, you're useless to me now, and reassess their relationship with their church. Actually, the vast majority of Christians will not be blindly obedient to the church on this. The people who demonstrate the levels of fanaticism required to support this are actually, they're a sizable minority, but they are a minority. And I think that the Catholic, if this happens, I actually think that in the long term, it's going to harm the Catholic Church more than it harms anybody or anything else.
JL, did we lose you or did we just lose your video? We may have lost JL.
Oh, well. Yes. Good point, Mr. Malort. Vatican II did not hold up to the original. Sequels very rarely do.
I understand where the concern comes from on JL's side. Absolutely. I just think that it's potentially dangerous to lump everybody into one.
I agree. There's way too much of this, generalization, intellectually lazy generalizations that are used to sort of stain an entire organization.
Is PhD Tony not here?
No, PhD Tony's right there.
Well then, Irish Demon.
Irish Demon, he's vomiting rainbow into. No, I don't know where he is. He says he's tired or something. Irish Demon has too much of a. I don't know.
You have to do this every Sunday.
Yeah, no, we don't have to. We get to. It's fun. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with this rascal here.
That's okay.
Here.
Well, Mr. Malort says Godfather Part 2. I actually, quite like Aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
Who's ex-aliens?
Alien X.
Alien X Gaming. Where is good old Alien? He's probably still sleeping. He was up late, I think, doing his streams.
On a plane.
Yeah. I particularly did, I don't know, I still think that Alien was better. Aliens is a good movie, don't get me wrong.
Aliens is a good movie, but, we're just going through sequels that, whether or not there are any sequels. You can make the argument a sequel is by definition an inferior film, which was made, oddly enough, in a sequel. But yeah.
Well,
it does make you wonder a little bit about if Trump gets elected again, because that would be a sequel.
That would be a sequel, and
and if it's going to be that much worse than the first time around, we may want to be digging bunkers.
Yeah, it'd be really, really, really frightening. Evil Dead 2, says Mr. Mallory. I think Evil Dead 2 was good. I don't know. I think it was as good as the first. Some people think it was better.
It depends on whether or not you like. I wouldn't say that Aliens was dumb action. Dora, it was action, but I think there was a fair amount of suspense. I remember the first time I saw Aliens, it scared the living shit out of me. I was too young to see Alien in the cinema, so
Look at his joke.
but Aliens was really, really.
You were too young.
Back.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
You just told everybody a fib. You said you were too young to see Alien in the cinema.
I was at one point, at least.
Sorry about that. I had to step away. I had to give Shotzi her medication.
That's
and
okay.
Jingles needed to go outside. What you do, dog?
No problem.
Jaws 3D, says Daryl M. Empire Strikes Back is a sequel, by the way, which I think is better than the first.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made there. But people are throwing up Police Academy films.
Police Academy 36. That's funny. But Alien was released in the 70s, says Dora. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure PhD Tony was in his 50s during the 70s. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying, yes.
So what is this? Is sequel talk or?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we're now. I brought up Vatican II. I had a story in which Vatican II appreciated and it appeared. Sorry, and now and somebody said, well, the sequel is never as good as the original. I kind of think that if what you're describing happens, the Catholic Church is going to shoot itself in the foot. It's going to do itself more harm than it will impact on anything else. Essentially, the US is on a trajectory where this sort of thing is going to become irreconcilable. But if the Catholic Church really wants to push at this, I just think it's really, really going to backfire. It's going to explode.
Yeah, and the current Pope seems to be much more progressive.
He is, and it's actually. I agree with a lot of the positions that he takes. Or he takes a lot of positions that I agree with regarding LGBT and various other progressive agendas. Women's rights to bodily autonomy. So. This one thing, and as much as I hear on a daily basis, people disparage the Catholic Church, and as much as Protestants have a problem with the Catholic Church and the way they practice the the Christian religion, I do like that the Catholic Church is ready and willing to evolve as necessary. It seems that they will evolve to the society much more readily than Protestants will. Just as a whole, there are more progressive Protestant religions. Like I was Protestant, I was Methodist, and Methodists are very progressive. But on a whole, the Catholic Church is always looking to be like, what's coming up next, and we'll adjust. And that's why the question's being asked, like, what if intelligent life ever shows up outside of Earth? What do we do then? What should we say? How does this factor in with the Bible and various stuff like this? So. I like that they're willing to have these conversations, which is good, So. Yeah,
it's to me, that actually rather undercuts the church's whole point, right? I mean, if the church were actually applying moral leadership, then the church would be ahead of social trends rather than trying to keep up with them.
Rather than catching up to it, yeah. Someone asked me a question there. Rob Parr is jail. Is Evil Dead 2 a sequel or a remake? It is a sequel because the events take place immediately after the events of Evil Dead. The people who died in Evil Dead still factor into Ash's journey. So those people that he wound up killing because they became Deadites, are still dead, and he is operating off of that. Although the stories are it pulls a lot from Evil Dead. So some people consider it kind of like a retelling of the first Evil Dead film, but it's the story itself is continuing from there. And then from the end of Evil Dead 2, he then goes to Army of Darkness. So it is officially canonically looked at as a sequel to Evil Dead. And someone else said something I didn't want to. What about the new giant rhino fossils found? Scott Evertander brought that up. That new giant rhinoceros, the largest, I think. Was it the largest mammal that ever lived on the? I think they're saying lived on the planet, which I think is really, really fucking cool.
Larger than the blue whale? Larger than the blue whale?
Oh well, sorry, on land, the largest mammal that ever lived. Yeah, and then Facty says jail.
Say it's a pretty big damn rhino if it's bigger than the blue whale.
Yeah. fact, he says, Jail Warren, we thought you rage quit. No, didn't rage quit. It's just I heard jingles pacing because I have all hardwood floors now. So now I can hear Jingles pacing wherever he is in the house. I was like, what is that noise? Oh, crap, he's got to go outside. So then he went outside, and I was like, it's pretty close to, it's getting up there. It's close to 10 o'clock, so I need to give Shotzi her thyroid medication. So I was like, I went in and took care of that, so just handle this. Because unfortunately, my little one, Shotzi, suffers from hypothyroidism. So. And it's good. We have her on medication, and now she is losing weight, which is fantastic because.
What kind of medication? I need to know what she's taking.
Oh right, but
no, I'm serious. What is she taking?
I don't have the bottle on at the moment, but
I have a thyroid condition. Well, stop eating thyroids.
No matter what we did, we could not get her to lose weight. She would just slowly gain weight no matter what. Even we have her on a very strict diet, exercise every day, and she was still gaining weight, slowly but surely. So in like 6 months, she gained 14 pounds, and it was like, we couldn't figure out what's going on. So they went in, took her in, they tested her, and she has hypothyroidism. Her thyroid was very, very low, almost bottomed out. And it's like, so we put her on medication. Now her energy is up. She drinks lots of water, and she's more active. And this is going to help with her hip dysplasia. And so she's doing much, much better. But she's on thyroid medication. So and she's dropping weight. I think she's down. And so if we put her on it, I think she's down about 8 pounds now, which is good because we need to get her weight. We need to really get her weight down because she's a chubby puppy. Unlike this model over here, who is lying on the floor, who cannot gain weight to save his life, and he eats like a pig. Just shit you not, this dog eats like 5 cups of food a day.
But he's a German Shepherd, right?
Yeah,
they're just traditionally more active.
True. Mr. Lord says levothyroxine. I have to look on the bottle, see what it is. It's a very tiny little blue pill.
Wait a minute.
She gets 2 a day.
Wait a minute.
It's not that blue pill.
I think we have actually successfully put PSG Tony to sleep. Oh no, there he is. He's awake. He's awake. He's up.
I'm looking at my Rubik's Cube again.
How are you doing with your Rubik's Cube? Are you?
I can do the Rubik's Cube in less than 2 minutes.
Oh, Rob Parks says, speaking of rest in peace, champ. That was kind of sad.
What happened?
It's always Biden's dog, Champ, passed away.
Oh.
It always sucks because just I losing a pet just blows.
Yeah,
I'll actually say Shotzi because of what was going on because of her weight and because of her hip dysplasia. I was actually a little concerned there for a bit because at a certain point, hip dysplasia, you have to make the hard decision. You need to go the surgical route, and surgery on that level with dogs is always really dicey. The chances are they could not wake up from the anesthesia, infections, all kinds of problems. And sometimes they do the surgery and it does. And sometimes within 6 months they're back to the way they were. It's always so dicey with surgery with dogs. And we were really I was for a while there. I was sitting there at the computer and I was like it was killing me because Shotzi's kind of a daddy's girl, Jingle's more of a mama's boy. And I was really weighing it. I was like, fuck, have we reached that point in my dog's life? And she's only 6. And I was like, this it can't be. So we took her to the vet, did everything I could. And fortunately, don't need surgery. She just needs to lose weight. Treating her thyroid, all is good. So I was like, because you get dog, you get animals, what's going to happen eventually, but nothing could really prepare you for it. So
it's not fun. Definitely not.
No.
Well, we usually take about 20 minutes to wrap up, so let's go ahead and start wrapping up so we can let PSG Tony hit the hay because he's over there.
He's over there falling asleep. Before we do, I do want you to throw out there is like
I'm looking at the.
I do want to throw it out there. I know there for a minute. I mean, given the amount of rhetoric, and I know that all of the rhetoric that I received is not representative of all of people who are religious. And whatever denomination or faith that you follow, I know that these people are a very, 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 very small minority of these people. In fact, some would even argue that they're not really proper representation of the religion that they claim to be. I understand that, and I get that. There's just so much hate you can take before you really start turning against it. And I'm the guy. I mean, unfortunately, and you guys have watched me long enough, and Johnny knows me well, and so does PhD Tony, so does Irish Demon. I'm not a person who will take so. I'll only take so many hits on the chin before I lash back. I mean, I'm just not a water off a duck's back kind of guy, and I hate hateful rhetoric. I hate societal division. This is what my channel is against, is bridging the divide of of social division that religion creates, because invariably that's what it does. And then you have this little tiny little fringe that seeks only to create division, strife, and chaos in other people's lives because they think their God or their belief gives them a blank check to do this. And I know it's not representative. So if I came off a bit didactic, which I know I came off a bit didactic. I don't mean to offend people who are legitimate representations of their faith. I don't mean to offend that. But sometimes.
Well, I'd like to respond to that, because it feels like at the same time you were quite strident about extrapolating from the actions of a group of Catholic bishops to the Catholic Church as a holistic organism or institution. So if you want to harbour the distinction between individual and organizational responsibility, it seems like it needs to be a more general concept, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I would think so. I would think that would be nice to not try and lump everybody all into one category or the next. There's nuance.
Agreed. There is, and like I said, it's a reaction to certain levels of tribalism that exist, and it's difficult. I mean, I will say, and occasionally I will lose sight, and I have lost sight at times. The people that I deal with on the daily, the people that the representatives of their faith that I deal with on the daily, are probably not the best representatives of that faith. They're typically very aggressive, very hateful, and deeply ignorant of many things. And the people that when I have engaged with these individuals who are not ignorant, who are not hateful, who don't, we see a very decided or a very different behavior out of these individuals. Typically, they don't try to evangelize. Typically, they don't try to convert people. They don't. They allow people to come to it themselves, and they'll answer questions if you have them. But they don't go out to like make people's lives more difficult, or be like, hey, you need to believe what I believe, because otherwise you're going to go burn in hell or some shit. Because I deal with that group on the daily, I admit that sometimes I can lose sight of that. And just in this particular month, it being Pride Month, the people that I've dealt with have kind of hit me enough times where I'm kind of like, look, these motherfuckers. And it's an emotional reaction. I acknowledge that it is. But I recognize logically, and I recognize these are not representatives of all of you. It's a small fringe. Just like like these are the people who will say that terrorists are representatives of Islam. They're not, and I get that. I understand that. I will. These people like Darth will say that shit. I will never say that. These are very, very small fringes, but
the other side of this is that if you got rid of religion completely, you wouldn't get rid of homophobes, right?
Right.
True. This is true. You wouldn't get rid of them. It's like Nietzsche. You hang around. You fight monsters long enough to ensure that you don't become one yourself. And sometimes, I unfortunately become as didactic against these people as they are against me, or against people of my ilk, or against other atheists. And sometimes the behavior gets reflected back at them. And then you get me on a particular subject, and I'll kind of pop off. But I'm not an anti-theist, people are allowed to believe what they want to believe, and I will fight for people's rights to believe what they want to believe, because that's just a basic human right. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to sit here and you prosecute people for thought crime. That's bullshit. But there's got to be a line drawn at a point. And unfortunately, the people that I deal with, that line comes very, very quickly. So no offense intended, no offense meant to anybody out there who is religious. Just I deal with the wackos who claim that they're a part of the same group you are. And yeah.
Well, to answer Rob Park's question, the scientist that I was talking to earlier go by the name of the RATE group, Radiation and the Age of the Earth. The prominent members are Andrew Snelling, David Russell Howard, Jason Lyle, and there ought to be one other I can remember, but screw it. Who cares? But yeah, they're just mendacious liars, as far as I can tell. Not only are they liars, they have completely prostituted their scientific integrity in service of their religion. Prostitution is the only way they have sold their intellectual honesty.
Who was that one scientist who said that even in the face of like overwhelming evidence, he would still reject it in order to keep his God view alive, or to keep his position alive? He basically say, even if it was this, I would still say no, that's not it, because God. I can't remember who it was who specifically said that.
I don't know either.
Yeah. But to kind of say, Globerom said, I would counter that societal expectations divide as well, because not everyone thinks or believes the same. Agreed. We will always have some level of division just because people believe different things. And that's okay. But we don't need to cause rifts in society to the point of exclusion. Because legitimately, the way I see it is that the thing that kept us alive thousands of years ago, that allowed us to band together into large groups to survive thousands of years ago, now really only serves to give us reasons to divide us and keep us tribal.
Yeah, but those groups are going to, those sorts of groups and classifications, such as nationalities, statehoods, socialists versus fiscal conservatives. There are always the arch feminists versus the moderate feminists versus the sexist pigs. There are always differences in ideological outlook that result in this sort of tribalism. So to say that tribalism, the argument that tribalism would go away if religion were obliterated, that isn't true either, right? Religion is one basis on which tribalism occurs, but it isn't the only one. And it's not fair to say that that its impact on society is completely negative. I think that I really think that we need an absolutist moral view of what's going on. Religion is perfectly fine as long as it isn't being used to justify something that is evil. Right, and the same's true of any other ideology, any other social group, any other worldview. It's all good unless it is being used to justify evil, and at that point you need to reassess, because it's the responsibility of the ideology to protect against people abusing it in that fashion.
Agreed. Dora, I think that's Ku. I don't know if that N is silent. Ku? Dora Ku? If I mispronounce that, I do apologize. Says, wait, what is an anti-theist? I thought that is someone who believes gods don't exist, not someone that is against religion. Just an atheist is someone who does not believe in God or God propositions. And that's an atheist. An agnostic is someone who does not know, because it's a gnostic, no knowledge. An anti-theist is someone who expressly wants to end theism, like anti-theist. Like if you were an anti-government, you want to get rid of or abolish government. An anti-theist is someone who actively attacks theism itself as an institution. It's like be gone with it because it serves no purpose whatsoever. I'm not an anti-theist. I think I border it, but I'm not to the degree that, because theism is still something that people believe, and they are allowed to believe what they believe. People are entitled to their beliefs. You can believe whatever you want. It's fine, just as long as it doesn't encroach on other people's lives. And
I like that you're doing your Cthulhu monster impersonation while you're talking about this.
This silliness.
Wait.
It's the going from OBS to Streamlabs. It got all weird. I hit the button to fix it, but it's just taking a second for it to.
So yes, anti-theists typically tend to be a lot more aggressive than I am, because they view theism as a whole as something very, as something more extremely dangerous or more detrimental to society or civilization, and they just want to end it. So their actions move towards shutting it down completely. One of my things that I do is I just want churches to be taxed.
Yeah,
I want
a
I want
lot
churches
of
to pay
money
taxes.
there.
Yeah, I want churches to pay taxes. That's it. Because there's no reason they shouldn't pay taxes. They're businesses. Okay? I just want them to pay taxes. But I don't want them to go away. You will never see me fight to get rid of a church or a mosque or a temple or anything of that nature. But I just want them to pay their fair share. That's it. Just so we don't have because if they pay taxes, we won't have things like the Creflo Dollars and the Joel Osteens and the Kent Hovens who have Dino Park. We won't have this crap if they pay taxes, because they won't be able to afford it like the rest of us.
There's
Come on, the end of Dino Adventureland. That would be so bad. The end of the Ark experience. That'd be pretty amazing, considering that was how much did it cost to build that damn thing? And it did nothing. It did nothing. $100 million. Here what was it? West Virginia? Is that where the thing is at?
Is it West Virginia?
West Virginia, or is it? Or I can't remember what it was. But anyway, here in America, for those
I thought it was Kentucky.
Maybe it's Kentucky. Here in America, there is a giant ark, a fucking ark. Okay, where you can walk in and walk around like this, and in this ark, this whole project was led by Ken Ham. They'll teach you that dinosaurs walked with man, and all about Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden and all. It's so absurd. It's insane. $100 million it cost this thing, and it was mostly funded by the state, because they promised that this would bring so much tourism and be such an economic boost that the state just had to pay for it, and the state did pay for it.
Well, that's the state being stupid then.
And guess what? It's a giant boat, or a giant fake boat sitting in the middle of nowhere that no one really goes to. Sorry.
Yeah, it's in Kentucky. It is in Kentucky.
Kentucky, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, or
as if Kentucky needed
Kent
more
Hovens,
reasons.
Kent Hovens in Dino Adventureland. Come learn about dinosaurs and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have hundreds of fossils down here, and you come on down here. It was like, give me a fucking break.
It's not what that fossil doesn't mean what you think it means, Kent.
I wish I could do a better Hovind impersonation. I haven't practiced it. I just know water. Just the way he pronounces certain things.
And again, these people are liars.
Yep.
Completely misrepresenting the nature of science.
Yes.
Why doesn't PhD Tony debate Hovind?
Because Hovind would never agree to debating PhD Tony.
Hovind debated Professor Dave.
Yes, Professor Dave is not as much as I respect Professor Dave, he is not PhD Tony.
And it's two different fields. Professor Dave is pretty much OChem, and PhD Tony is a geophysicist. So at least he's got him on the edge of the earth right there. Because Hovind literally believes the 6,000. He's a biblical literalist. Believes the Bible completely, from beginning to front as literally what happened. And that would be an amazing debate. PhD Tony versus Kent Hovind. That'd be fantastic.
I would love to host that debate. I just Hovind he's not suicidal.
What are you, suicidal? Only in the mornings.
Only in the mornings.
Well,
That's not funny.
he seems fairly keen to. If you just call him up,
Yeah.
He'll agree to debates.
All right, I will do that. I will see if I can't get him to debate you.
Dora is brilliant, and I love this person in the chat. Whoever you are, thank you. Haven't you seen the videos of the lines of people at the Ark Park? Neither have I. Dora, yes, Hovind isn't prepared for Tony at all. He's not prepared at all.
Dora, legendarily, is the first person to have noticed the similarity between myself and Daniel Pratt.
Nice.
When I first appeared on I think Fight the Flat Earth's stream, she didn't have the sound on, and she thought it was just Daniel Pratt and didn't want to listen to him.
It's amazing.
Was it?
That's so funny.
Tony,
I do have to say, Tony, when you did the hoodie thing and all that, you were
Yes.
it was really, really good.
Tony, you need to get a cardboard cutout of a water heater just to place in that negative space you have there over on the side by your bookshelf. Just a cardboard cutout. Just standing there. That would be brilliant. And yes, Monkey in the Works, you are correct. Aaron Raw has been taking Hovind to task with a series of videos. I think it's called Lies in the Textbooks or something like that. And just ripping it apart. It's brilliant. It's really good stuff.
It is somewhat frustrating.
Man,
in the sense that listening to Kent Hovind is always frustrating.
Yep.
I'm still waiting. I really hope Irish does it. I mean, I know he's not here, and if he was here, he'd probably call Kent directly, be like, "Hey, you want to debate PSG Tony?" He'd probably set it up right now. He's got the cat on speed dial.
Yeah, he does. It's number one or number two because number one.
I really hope when he comes to America, he's doing his little tour. He's doing his tour of the southeast. That he goes there and does stick his little Irish demon stickers in precarious, inconspicuous places all around. It'd be great to stick one right on a dinosaur. Pow, Irish demon. That'd be hilarious.
They actually, the security. I have seen footage of security inviting people out if they're not responding appropriately to the exhibits.
Okay, so we got to take bets. If Irish Demon goes to Dino Land, how long do you think he'll last?
Less than 20 minutes. I'm going to say I'll put the over under. I'll put the over under at 20 minutes.
Because seriously, I mean, because Irish is a big dude.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
You think security would get kind of a
Yes.
Listen here, Mr. Irish person.
Because here's the thing, Kent Hovind, or at least Kent Hovind sycophants, watch for his name in YouTube videos. But yeah, I put the over under at 20 minutes.
20 minutes. He lasts 20 minutes.
No. The over under is 20 minutes. So that's where I think if I were a Vegas betting person, 20 minutes would be the level. It would be the mark.
I say half an hour. I say he lasts a good solid 30 minutes.
So you're over. You're on the over side.
I'm on the over. I'd say a good 30 minutes. A good regular broadcast of a cartoon, and then before he gets booted, before they escort him from the premises.
So that's one. That means now I have to give odds on the under.
That's right. Well, I'm going to wait until the odds on the under are better than 50-50. So.
Well, right now they are. The odds are better than 50-50 on the under because JL took the over. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not much better, but still better. It's 50 to 49.9998.
Something like that.
Johnny doesn't have a gambling problem at all.
No.
But there's two. The Ark Encounter. If all four of us could go visit the Ark Encounter, That would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
We'll make sure we'll have some like really spicy Thai food before we go.
Yeah. Again,
Dino farts.
International travel from Australia is they reckon it'll be open by 2024.
Holy shit.
So, like at the moment, nobody's allowed out. No Australian citizen is allowed to leave the country.
That sucks.
Unless it's to fight COVID or for a limited number of exceptions. So yeah.
Rob Parks, thank you for the telescope recommendations. I am writing them down now. Orion SkyQuest.
Did he get out?
XT6.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Gotta be in there.
I will look into those. Thank you very much, Rob. I do appreciate that. Scott Everton says they won't call security. They'll want the publicity that someone defaced their beautiful exhibit.
Well, we won't deface it. We won't deface it. We'll just shit all over the toilets. Anyway, I just got hit with a potentially disturbing bit of news. Not bad. One of the turtles is missing, so apparently we have a turtle on loose. I have to go.
Okay.
Oh shit!
All right.
Yeah.
In which case,
Well, the rest of you, I mean, I see you have excellent comments in the live chat, but unfortunately, we can't get to them today. Like Jimmy Kimmel, we've run out of time.
all right. Bye, all.
Bye, everybody. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Sorry.
Good morning.
Sorry. Turtle poking. I mean, wait a minute. No.
Oh.
No, for real.
Walk on a turtle head poking out.
For real.
I'm getting all emotional.
There's a turtle on the loose, so I'm gonna go find a turtle. Anyway, everybody, bye.
Bye.